I'm in between a great conference right now, a gamer conference, and I'm just in between it because I'm living a fun life within going between different gigs and jobs, responding to different gigs and jobs, staying committed to where I need to stay committed. Sometimes when you plan things with your mind with incomplete intelligence, it's not going to go according to plan because it's not in alignment with the bigger picture. And since it's not in alignment with the bigger picture, sometimes your mind could fool you. Your mind could tell you you could be doing the right thing, but that is its own growingness of how it's growing out of its ignorance towards a different bigger picture, most respectively. Because as we're growing towards that bigger picture, our mind doesn't tell us the whole truth. It just tells us what it thinks it knows. That's the thing, what it thinks it knows. It's been conditioned within just ignorance of society. And that ignorance of society could be embedded different in different ways, obviously, kind of. And as that's going on, we're all at our own level of our own mind. That mind has a certain level of ignorance. And within that certain level of ignorance, um, it kind of like fogs out what our body really wants, because our body's intelligence, it's way different, and the body's carrying the mind and the karmas and all this stuff. But the thing is, it's like we're we could, the main point of this video was we could ask ourselves like oh, I didn't finish that other point, but I'm going to bring the main point of this video. The main point of this video was just to see how did the constellations and the zodiacs get the themes that they got originally. And it's actually it's a deep esoteric way, because those themes got crafted and constructed and created casually based on the temperament of how the temperament of that space just got put in that area and how it was harmonic within a different template, right? So since that template of space was harmonic with different energies, different trines and triunes, kind of like, smack cadabulated within, like, just the template of astrology. Like there's four trines, right? Air, fire, earth, and water. So there's four trines. So within those trines, those are different elemental spaces, and those elemental spaces, they're on a different level, going through different processions of time, and depending on the different relationship of program or entities within those spaces of elemental space and time, most respectively, that's before the theme of astrology. Because you could ask, well, why is the first house the first house? Why is the second house the second house, etc.? All that. And I'm giving it to you in a basic, swift message. Like, I don't need to compare myself casually. Like, the comparison, once the mind gets polished, the comparison won't mean anything, because you know what you got with God giving you it, and then God organizing like the polarities of life, respectively, right? Within the polarities, and in agreement, in some deep agreement with the polarities of life, because the polarities in life, they have their own domains of energy and space, right? So within all of that stuff, we're growing within our new growth mindset, and that growth mindset is conditioned, and it's deconditioning differently, uniquely per 2024, and just the casual work it's done in just the past lives, in the past casually, for it to go to some type of deconditioning all the more. Because what casually you can look at deconditioning is filtering out false knowledge and ways of beings with true knowledge and ways of beings, and that making a different balance of life in this collective life of balance and non-balance, right? So for some reason I'm keen with my memory. I don't know why. And I'm just doing this because I feel like, I feel like let me see, who am I sponsoring? I'll sponsor that later. I feel like I'm trying to like explain what beyond confidence is, because what beyond confidence is, it has something to do with the true origins of things, where it's like you're like, there's some type of thing that is just like birthed to just like have it be what that is, you know? And then from that effect and energy, then it gets received by other beings casually, and they have some type of talent, and they could carry on their own micro confidence, most respectively. But and I don't expect, I'm not speaking human to human, like, I don't expect any, like, obviously I could expect like people just to have distorted filters within that message. Like, it's not about always listening with your mental logic. You like, we could do it within our intuition too, you know. There's a lot of intuition to it. So I know you could say this is kind of like, you know, just kind of like, you know, ranty, but it's not necessarily ranty, because the point of this message is, it's just a simple question asking like, well, how did the themes of astrology and the zodiac and the constellations get their themes to begin with? And my intuitive answer would be that the spaces of the time of the season, that was a precursor. That energy element was a precursor to making that theme for what it is, based on the energy and the element, and some type of program or entities in affiliation with organizing all of the astrology to make all of the astrology houses and zodiac constellation signs for what them to be astrology modern to wherever it started respectively. And within that, the programmer entities know that, because the programmer entities are the ones that put into place what the themes of the zodiac means, based on their temperament, based on their element, based on their season. So it's like, I intuitively asked that question and answered it, and it was like, how did the themes come about? The signs and the elements per their placements. Well, I just answered it intuitively. It's based on their seasonal placement of temperament, and it's also based on programmer entities, and it's also based on the elements, and from that is organized to make the themes or what they are right now. And we're in a new stage of life where we could barely be deconditioning like to that, you know, because our mind isn't always right, and our mind it's just not always right, because it's in its own unique growing ignorance. That's not good or not bad, but that growing ignorance, it could be like going towards like, you know, more confusion or not, you know, or it could be going towards like more, you know, the growing ignorance could snap out of the confusion and go to clarity, right? So that's pretty much the basis of this video. Intuitively, number one, keep doing the good work.